What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the LetDirtFly YouTube channel. Today is an exciting day because we are swapping out the exhaust on my 850 XMR. So previously I had an HMF Titan QS system on my quad. Problem is the maintenance side of things. So basically with HMF, how they do it is you have to send the exhaust into them to get it repacked. So the main problem with sending it in is that you have a lot of downtime away from your quad because it takes about a week and a half or so, or a little bit more depending on how busy HMF is, to get your exhaust back. But then also the charge to do it, it's like $150 or so plus shipping both ways. So it ends up being like almost 200 bucks. And yeah, it's, if you have to repack your exhaust a couple times a year, not good. So what I went out and bought is this. So I got myself the Big Gun EXO Series. So this isn't like their normal big gun that you normally see. I think it's called the Echo. I'll correct myself, or Evo, something like that. I'll put a little thing down below, but this thing is really nice. Now you'll see it's a little bit, it's already got some heat and stuff put in it, and that's because it was already on my quad. I want to do some testing. I'm actually doing a bunch of clutch work right now. That's why she looks like she's in pieces. But this thing looks killer. I really like the design of it. And the best part is it's not crazy loud like some of the other exhausts on the market. So still sounds really good. They do have quiet core options as well, which is awesome. Now the best part is that this thing only costs $25 plus like $7 shipping for me to repack it, rather than $150 to have somebody else do it, that I can do something myself. So that is the main reason I bought this exhaust, is because maintenance wise it's going to be so much cheaper to do. And being that I ride mud a lot now and the exhaust is submerged most of the time, it's going to need a repack a couple times a year. I mean, geez, for like 100 bucks I can have four packs laying around ready to go. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is I actually have my stock exhaust on here right now. I'm going to get you guys some sound clips of that, also some decibel readings. Then we're going to go ahead and swap out for the Big Gun EXO, and we're going to get some sound clips of that and everything, compare them A to B so you can see it, and also see how loud it actually is, because some of you guys might not want a super loud exhaust, and I think this is a pretty good option. It's not crazy. It's definitely not as quiet as my HMF was, but it's definitely pretty manageable. So right now, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, so it looks like it was right around 83, 84 decibels, somewhere around there, just idling. Now usually I think that at the parks they rev them up to like 3,500 RPM, and that's what they kind of go off of, but for this instance, I'm by myself, so can't really control the throttle unless I tie some string around it or something. So we're going to go off our idle numbers right now. So we got 83 at idle. Now let's go ahead and let's take it down the driveway and see how the stock exhaust sounds, which is depressing, I'm not going to lie, compared to the Big Gun. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it's just a little bit dry here in New York. We haven't got rain in weeks, turns out. So right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the tools we're going to need for this install. All right, so for tools you're going to need, it's pretty simple actually. So to start off, I'm just going to use my impact. You can use a regular ratchet, doesn't matter. But I got a 15 millimeter socket. That's going to be to remove the stock OEM exhaust clamp. Then we got a 13 millimeter wrench, 13 millimeter socket, and a 10 millimeter socket. So the 13s are actually going to be used for this guy, as well as the stock exhaust, and then 10 millimeters for the new exhaust clamp up here. All right, so for you guys, you won't have to deal with this, but I have to deal with a extremely massively hot exhaust because yeah, I just went ripping down the driveway with this thing. But wouldn't do that if I were you, if you're about to do it, unless you want to hear before and after or something like that. Probably should cool it down, but I'm just gonna wear gloves and try not to get messed up. All right, loosen that guy up. I said, this is actually pretty simple, especially the installation of the new exhaust. Is actually very straightforward, which I love because the HMF did not want to go on or off very easily. It was a big pain in the butt to do. So, all right, nut off. All right, and I said you guys will just have to remove the one more bolt underneath, which is easy and self-explanatory. And to get the exhaust off, you kind of have to do the wiggle shuffle technique. Just kind of grab a hold of it. That's very hot. Owie. All right, that feels great on my skin, even with gloves on. Just like that. Comes off. Now, of course, we have to do what every responsible human being would do. Let's fire it up with no exhaust on it, because YouTube. That's 111 decibels. Yeah, no, your exhaust is not going to sound like that. All right, now, so to install this guy, one thing you just gonna have to do is, not gonna lie, their instructions weren't the greatest, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So this guy actually rotates a little bit. Mine doesn't do it much more anyway because I just got heat in it already. But basically, this actually rotates a little bit on its own. You just have your bolt and washer go on the outside. This goes flush to the plate that's on the quad, and then none on the backside. Tighten that up, tighten up the exhaust clamp, done. That's it. So nice and simple. I like it. I like things that are simple because it makes things a lot easier for serviceability and stuff. Put the slider on there, line up the tab. As I said, mine's already kind of, I guess you could say, twisted into place already because I already had it on here. All right, and then same thing. Just go through this little access spot here in the trunk. Tighten her down. It's only one bolt now with this thing. Close the trunk up. And then you got your 10mm nut for the clamp there that I gotta find. Almost lost the nut. So this guy is a 10mm. Oh, turns out the heat's already transferring to the new exhaust. Make sure you have the clamp nice and straight and level so you can, it's easy to get your socket back off. And that's it. That easy. Now let's make some good noises. All right, so she looks like she's right around like 96 decibels. So that's actually not too bad at all. I think most parks, well, like I said, again, they do like the 3,500 RPM or something deal, but I think most parks are around 100 decibels. So you at least have an argument statement. If they want to say, hey, your exhaust is too loud, you'd be like, hey, it's under 100. So right now we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing we did the other one, do a couple flybys, do some takeoffs, everything like that, so you guys can hear it. And then I'll put the other clip back to back so you can hear the difference once again. right, guys, that is the Big Gun EXO Series exhaust for Can-Am Outlander. I hope this helps you in purchasing an exhaust for your quad. As far as the sound goes, I think it's pretty comparable to a MBRP exhaust for a Can-Am. Seth's sounds roughly the same. This might be just a touch louder, if that, but also Seth's exhaust is really clogged and needs a repack. So I think it's pretty comparable in sound to that guy, and I think it's a little bit cheaper actually too. Now, as far as the sound goes today, I was recording all the exhaust clips actually on this Rode Video Micro mic, so hopefully it picked up the sound good. I'm hoping you guys got the gist of kind of what it sounds like and everything. You can never tell by videos, it's really hard to, so I'm hoping this helps a little bit. But as far as the exhaust goes, I am very, very happy. I think the price point is right. I think I purchased this for a little over $400 and then some shipping. And like I said, $25 to service this thing by myself. I mean, it can't go wrong. Sorry, maybe $30 with shipping or something like that. But $150 from HMF was just, couldn't do it anymore. It's just, I mean, that's a lot. And if you ride mud and everything, serviceability is key. So I'm really happy this thing actually pops off, and like as you saw, I swapped the whole exhaust out in 5 minutes. I can literally have this exhaust off under 2 minutes, clean it out, repack it, put it back together probably in another 3 or 4 minutes, and done. I mean, that's awesome. Be back on a trail, back in the mud pits, and having a good time. So with that, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. We really appreciate all the support. Make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. We have Instagram and Facebook, so go follow us over there. You'll see some behind the scenes stuff and some events we got coming up. And until next time, we'll have to catch you on Let There Fly.
Have you forgotten where you were?